All right. Hey, gang, this is Frederick, founder and publisher of Saturday AM, and this is the final round, final review of the 2021 March Art Madness tournament. This is our huge event that we do every single year. We bring artists from around the world to compete mano a mano style to uncover who's the best fan artist of the year. And this year has been really special. We've got a really special group of people to help us review the final entries for the final four participants of this year's tournament. So as we do every episode, we're going to give you guys a quick rundown of who we are, what we do with Saturday AM, and then talk about the tournament, and of course, introduce our judges, and then get to the art. So let's start off first and foremost with a little story about who we are. If you're not familiar with Saturday AM, we are the world's most diverse manga brand. We make digital anthology magazines, not dissimilar to what you would find in Japan with titles like Weekly Shonen Jump and Weekly Shonen Magazine. Our content, however, is diverse, meaning we have creators and characters from around the world. We separate our content based on the overall genre metrics that we're seeking. So just like in Japan, we have categories that speak mostly to female audiences, or to older male audiences, or to the general shonen audience, which is where we find many of the shonen manga that we all love today, like Dragon Ball and Naruto and Jujutsu Kaisen and so on. So you can see here, Saturday AM is our flagship brand, flagship magazine. It's actually up to issue 134. 132, actually, 132, we have 133 coming out this month. We have Saturday PM, which is our seinen manga magazine, features more adult content. That's up to issue number 12. And we also have Saturday Brunch, which is one of our newer magazines featuring extraordinary creators who are creating content that is either featuring predominant characters who are female or LGBTQ. Latest issue, I indicated, Saturday AM issue 132. Just to give you an example again of just how diverse our brand is. In this one issue alone, our latest issue for Saturday AM, we have Apple Black from White Manga, who is Nigerian. We have Clock Striker, which is Shonen Manga's first Black female lead character, which actually features artwork from a character from France. We have Master Multiplayer World of Ghosts, featuring a character who is Indian American, and also featuring an artist who is from New Zealand. Soul Beat, featuring one of the coolest soul influenced characters in shonen manga, Dante, star of Soul Beat, and that's illustrated by a young woman out of Indiana. And last but not least, we have Crunch Time, which is also on the cover of this issue, which is created by a fantastic artist from Cyprus. Saturday AM has grown pretty dramatically over the past 8 years. In fact, we started the diverse manga movement that you find so readily online today. When we launched in 2013, very few people were talking about it, much less trying to do anything about it. We took the sling and arrows that come with it, but our brand has succeeded in spite of all of that. And we, of course, have created an extraordinary group of characters who have now got a massive fan base. We recently had some toys created from a company called Jabberwocky, who licensed our characters. And we had Wave 1 hit late last year, despite the pandemic, and are currently being carried at Hot Topic. We have a first physical magazine in development. In fact, we were close to coming out late last year. We actually won an award for the magazine from Pop Insider magazine, which covers pop culture and geek-oriented products. You've probably seen some of the things they talk about on weekday early morning talk shows like Good Morning America and Today. They actually selected Saturday AM brand, including our toys I just showed you, as well as a magazine. We're retooling the magazine for stronger retail distribution now that the vaccine is getting out there, and you can expect to hear more about this soon. Lastly, if you really want to get into what we do, the best method is the original method, digital. We started and still are a digital first company, meaning that we produce our content with digital audiences in mind first. And as a result of that, if you want to find any of the magazines we produce, your best bet is to check out our app. We have a mobile app that is available for you on iOS and or Android devices. If you have an M1 MacBook, you can also enjoy it on your MacBook. It is fantastic. Got some great content in there, over 150 issues of content, thousands of pages of content, dozens of exclusive series. And you can find all of this at our website, www.saturday-am.com. Look for the entry for app, and you can find content there. Furthermore, we are everywhere. So if you've not heard about us, you probably have seen our logo or seen some of our characters. We've been profiled on nearly every major website related to geek and anime and or comic book content, from Comic Book Resources to Anime News Network, Comicosity, even the British paper, The Guardian. And we've had additional content from there. So if you want to experience more of Saturday AM, just look online. Today we have a special guest who will help us judge this year's finalists for March Art Madness. And it's the winner of last year's March Art Madness. We've actually been doing March Art Madness for 6 years. And so our winner of 2020, Miss Alyssa Moore, is here. Alyssa, are you there?
Yes, I am here.
Excellent. Well, go ahead. I'm sorry, you want to say something real quick?
My last name's actually Alyssa. It's Alyssa Holmes.
Oh, Holmes, my God, my bad. Lord, no, sorry about that. I will. We will correct that in the notes.
It is a pleasure to be here. I'm super excited to see everyone's work.
That's awesome. Well, we're going to talk to you in a moment. I want to introduce the rest of our guests. These are some of the great creators that we have. First up, we have the one and only Jay Oden, creator of hit series Hammer. He's also got a book out from Oni Press called Lemonade Code. Jay, how are you doing today, buddy?
Doing pretty well, man. Thanks for asking. I hope everybody is doing okay.
Awesome. All right. We have the lovely Morgan Walker, creator of Soulbeat, which I talked about earlier. How are you doing today, Morgan?
I'm doing good.
Good. You sound chipper. That's good. We have Blake Showers, creator of a series we have for Saturday PM called Four Strikes. Blake is a fantastic artist. He's a wig model. He does graffiti.
I got to win some competitions, Fred. I haven't gotten into any wig competitions yet.
I'd like to see you get into a fight with Tyler the Creator.
He might got me.
Guys. Yeah, I think he does. You're right. A wig off. But cool. Well, it was good to see. I'm glad Blake is here. We also have J.R. DeBard, creator of Underground, also from Saturday PM. How you doing, J.R.?
Doing good. Ready to rock and roll.
I'm pretty sure that JR always brings energy to our chats, and by energy I mean like a battery you got from the Dollar Tree.
I'm just trying to put smiles on faces, man.
Well, I'm glad JR is here. And then last but not least, we have my little sister. She is a co-founder of Saturday AM. She is from Hungary and then Canada. Where will she be next? Who knows? Alaska. We have Andrea Doney. How you doing, Andrea?
Good.
Who knows where Andrea will pop up, folks?
I think we both know the answer, but that's for another video.
That's true. Folks, she told me a while back she's moving to Djibouti. So Andrea, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing fantastic. Happy to be here.
Awesome. Andrea, by the way, folks, is the creator of one of our series, very popular series, Saigami, which was ran at Saturday AM. She's also doing a new series for us called Kill Shot, which is about a college volleyball team and a girls female college volleyball team, and that is running a Saturday brunch. So super excited. Obviously, all these artists here tonight are incredibly talented. Let me go back to Alyssa Holmes, not more you see on the screen here, and ask Alyssa. You can find her, by the way, at Artist Alleyway, and ask Alyssa what. So Alyssa, talk to me about how things are going with you. You participated last year in our tournament, and you won. You were the second American to win the tournament. You then got a chance to work on a toy with Jabberwocky. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. So I did some designs for them. I'm super excited. And so far I've just been like having some fun with Clip Studio and just I mean, it's been an amazing experience. I think of most anything, it's been a confidence boost, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Usually I think as an artist, I'm like the biggest self-critiquer. But this has been such an amazing experience, and I've been like working harder and working at developing my own comic as well.
That's excellent. So you're working on doing your own intellectual property, your own comic book.
Yeah.
Oh, so I want to talk about that in a moment, but before we go there, I do want to ask your experiences with March Art Madness, because I talk about this all the time. I talk about it every episode we do. I talk about it every year. Like the secret of March Art Madness is that it is kind of like the perfect like encapsulation for what it's like to be a professional artist, because you have deadlines, you have you have like curveballs thrown at you in terms of what you got to create and draw. You have so many things that are happening to you at once, and you've got to figure out a rhythm to succeed with it. And what I've said is that at the end of the day, success always comes down to ultimately making good choices, right? They're going to be perfect choices, but just making good choices. What was your experience in doing the tournament? What did you feel was one of the more challenging aspects of it? And what did you feel was one of the more consequential elements of it in terms of what you really learned by doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think right off the bat, just being thrown out of my comfort zone, and then I'm like, I'm gonna take this on anyway, and really like make sure. I think the first, I call it an assignment, but basically the first theme was to do DC villains versus Marvel villains, and I didn't know that many Marvel villains, so I was like, okay, and I draw mostly anime, but I was like, okay, I'm gonna dive right into this. I did a bunch of research, really went out of my comfort zone with style, because I think even during the critique, I was like, oh man, yeah, like I'm not super great at drawing muscles, but I was like practicing and trying my hardest, and this really pushed me to like keep going and to like really go outside of that like sort of comfort, like just drawing what's safe, and really trying new things and new compositions and new lighting techniques and shading. I think I was trying all kinds of new things because themes would come up, and I thought, oh, like I really want to do it this way, but I'm not sure if I can. It kind of gave me a way to really try and push myself to achieve that. And it's just been really great, because like every piece I was like surprising myself. I'm like, wow, like I actually did it. Like I completed it. I pushed myself, and I kept going out of my comfort zone, which is like really such a great opportunity. And even hearing the critiques is such a valuable thing, because usually you can ask your friends and they'll be like, oh yeah, it's nice, and you don't get that feedback that this provides. It's been such a great, awesome thing, because I feel like I learned a lot more than I was just doing it on my own.
I think that's all fair, and I love hearing that. I think because it's so difficult, when you're in the moment doing it, right? You just because it's being thrown at you so fast that it really, you're right. It's like you're going from like one kind of like like you finish up your artwork, you submit it, you get it in on time, and then bam, like people are voting, and then come Monday, it's a brand new theme, and you gotta start thinking about what you're gonna draw next, and you don't even know if you're gonna survive until Monday, later on Monday. So it's kind of like going from like one like action scene in a video game to the next, right? It's just like bam, bam. It's like constant like chaos being thrown at you. But when you complete it, you're like you said, you can kind of have that moment of kind of looking back, even if you don't win the tournament, you still can have that sense of like, man, I knocked out 5 pieces of art that really challenged me, or 4 pieces of art or what have you over a time frame, and I actually did it, and people saw it and actually, critiqued it and liked it, because obviously people vote for you as well. And so yeah, I think that does kind of make you feel a certain way, I hope, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I was just really like, I was approaching each thing just thinking like, this is just such an amazing experience. Even if I didn't win the contest, I was probably going to keep going, because it kind of ended up being fun, even though I was like stressing, like, oh, I only have this much time. But then by the time you complete it, you feel so accomplished, and it's been really great.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm really excited to hear that, and I'm really excited. Like, I mean, I've always thought that, but obviously to talk to people and hear them talk about how it really challenged them, but they appreciated the experience of it. Obviously, makes us feel really good. It makes our sponsors feel great, because we've had some amazing sponsors this year. Last year, you won an iPad, right?
Yes, I did.
You won a bunch of art supplies from Spectrum Noir, right?
That is correct. It's
Okay.
been so fun.
Yeah, so you got that. You got a professional art contract with Jabberwocky to draw some concepts for a toy, and now you're working on a comic. And tell us a little bit about the comic process. What are you trying to do with that, or are you still kind of putting those ideas together?
Right now, I'm just working on really developing it. I think, especially learning from this experience, is I had a tendency to just kind of jump into it without planning things first. And now I'm kind of approaching this one with like planning character designs and turnarounds, and kind of writing out the story first. This one, I really wanted to kind of incorporate a lot of things I liked about some like animes and shows I used to watch. Uh, it's hard to explain. It's just been really great. This one is going to be about a teacher that is teaching about how to kill vampires in
Oh, wow.
in a vampire infested society. I thought it would be kind of interesting if it's kind of a mix of a couple things I've watched over the years. Stuff like Assassination Classroom and Vampire Hunter D and stuff like that is like, have always inspired me. And I thought, what if we took that and kind of like mixed it together? And I've just been kind of working on that. And hopefully I'll be publishing pages soon. I want to make sure I plan it this time, so I make sure I finish the product.
Well, I think that sounds awesome. That sounds like a really cool idea. And I was going to ask you what genre it is. So I take it as more kind of like shonen, or?
More like action-packed shonen.
Got it. Okay.
Some humor in there, of course.
Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, of course. You got to have that. That's great. That's really, really cool. Then I'm very excited to hear that. And then when can people expect to maybe see something for that, or start to be able to check that out? Is it going to be later this year, or?
So on my Instagram, I try to post updates on just basically my development process. But I'm by next year I'll start putting up pages. So
Okay.
I think I'm almost done with everything. So it'll be really
Awesome.
fun.
Okay. Well, folks, when we get information from Alyssa on what her comic is and where you can find it, then we will post a note about it on our social media. You can follow Alyssa at Artist Alleyway, ALW, or is it ALYWAY or ALWAY?
to be ALYWAY.
Yeah, boy, we really messed this whole thing up, but we'll fix it in the notes, folks. We'll fix it in the notes. It's called it's called not it's called. But you can hear my voice, folks. But I've got a sore throat and I've got a sick dog, so it's been kind of a crazy couple of days. But we want to thank Alyssa for being here, as well as all of our other guest artists, our artists who will help us judge things for tonight. So, folks, let's go ahead and get to it then. Let's first start off with a quick note about one of our sponsors. This year, as you heard Alyssa say, she had a chance to work on a toy design as part of the grand prize, an art contractor working on a toy design for Jabberwocky Toys, who is the same group who made our toys, the blown up punch toys that we showed you earlier. Well, this year we have Flick Solitaire. They are a UK-based video game company, mainly developing content for mobile devices. They have a solitaire game, which is not your parent solitaire. This is a multifaceted version of solitaire, packing different variations of the solitaire game, all into a really slick package with animations and particle effects and really cool artwork that you really don't see normally on solitaire cards. Better yet, they work with up-and-coming artists from around the world. They're very committed to diversity, just like Saturday AM. So it's been a real match for us with them. And we have some announcements coming as it relates to us and them soon. But for now, we're really honored that they are sponsoring this event. There was a round during this year's tournament, I think round 3, I believe, where people had to create a Flick Solitaire card, as well as a mascot version of the NCAA March Madness teams here in America. And so that was a really fun experience. They actually were on our 3rd episode, which you can check out on White Manga's channel. But we're really excited with Flick Solitaire's sponsorship of this year's event. Definitely worth checking out, folks. It's a free download. The game is extremely addictive, and you'll love the artwork they have. The winner of this year's tournament will actually get a professional art contract from Flick to design artwork for an upcoming deck for their mobile game. So check out Flick Solitaire. I want to thank them again for sponsoring March Art Madness. So round 5 was all about anime movie posters. So we all love great anime movies. We all love anime characters. So this was all about designing the perfect anime movie poster, except it had to feature Saturday AM characters, but chiefly the individual characters from the teams that these artists were participating in. So just to give you guys some understanding, with March Art Madness, we begin with 64 artists. So we have artists from around the world who solicit us for a chance to be in this year's tournament or that year's tournament. We select 64 of the best, most interesting artists from around the world. We then put them into the tournament where they go mano a mano against each other, but we split them up into 4 separate quadrants. Each quadrant is a team. So you have 16 artists in each quadrant. Each quadrant is featured or is named after one of our series. So we have Team Apple Black, Team Bully Eater, Team Clock Striker, and this year we had Team Hammer from J. Oden. So at the end of the 4 weeks, out of 5, we get a winner for each one of these teams. And the final round, which is the round we're doing tonight, is all about the 4 artists, each artist representing a different team, competing with the same idea, same theme, and seeing who will emerge as the grand prize winner. So all of them had a task to create anime movie posters, but they had to do it themed around the team that they won. So as it relates to anime movie posters, a couple of quick notes. The first full-length anime film was Momotaro Umi no Shinpei, which is Momotaro Sacred Sailors in 1945, while the first color animated film was Panda and the Magic Serpent in 1958. In fact, that was Toho's first, you guys all know Toho, that was their first anime film, full-length anime film ever. In 2020, during the pandemic, Kimetsu no Yaiba, aka Demon Slayer, Mugen Train became the highest grossing anime film of all time, beating out many of the Studio Ghibli films, including Spirited Away. So, anime movie film has a wonderful tradition. It's an incredible art form. It's something that obviously all of us are massive fans of, hence why we create manga style content within Saturday AM. And tonight's challenge was all about these artists producing movie style poster art featuring our characters. So we began with our first artist we review tonight. And it's Team Apple Black. Now, just to tell you guys how we're going to do this is really simple. I'm going to call on a few artists, not every artist, and they will give some thoughts on the art. And then we will vote. The voting is not this person should fail, this person should win. The voting is instead a rank number. We're going to rank the artists. Every artist will give their rank. So it's 4 artists, 4 pieces of art. Every time we look at a new piece of artwork, the artists will all give their number. Well, I think this is number 4, I think this is number 1, I think this is number 2. And at the end, we will tabulate all the numbers, including the public votes that you all gave, and we will reveal the winner tomorrow. So with that being said, this is Team Apple Black. The artist here is the lovely Katsugiri Art. If you all follow us on Instagram, you can find a video chat that I did with she and another artist, and it was really wonderful. I could not have been more impressed with this young artist. She is American. She is young, but she's incredibly talented. She's worked really hard throughout the tournament, and I do hope that she will also have garnered some of the experiences that was mentioned by Alyssa. So her work here is Apple Black. She's got an Apple Black themed movie poster here, and I'm going to start down the list then with a few folks I'm going to select to give me their thoughts on it. So I'm going to begin with Andrea. Andrea, what do you make of this poster?
Oh, I didn't expect me to start. Okay.
This is how we do it, folks.
Yeah, just throwing me under the bus. In general, I think this is a good piece. I like the composition. It's nothing outstanding, but it works as a promotional piece. I feel like probably the colors are like the strongest point. Like I like the vibrant colors. Like it really feels eye-catching. There are some minor issues with the art and anatomy for me. Like it's mostly just headshots, so that's taking away a tiny bit from the overall experience. But in general, it's a nice and vibrant piece.
Totally agree. I also agree with you. The color work is really exceptional in this. Let me go to JR and get his thoughts on this. JR, what did you make of this piece?
Yeah, no, I thought this piece was pretty strong. I agree with Andrea for the most part. The colors are really nice. I think the composition could be a little bit more complicated. Like they could have reached a little bit more. But overall, it's a pretty good poster. Yeah.
Folks, this is why you
some
tune
small
in
issues with like character
expert
rendering, but other than that, it's really it's a strong poster in my opinion.
Let me get Alyssa's thoughts here. Alyssa, what did you make of this?
Yeah, I actually really like this piece. I really love the colors. I think the main issue I might have is maybe some proportional issues. I'm trying to figure out just with the hands. But other than that, like I really love the use of the fire and the effect towards the bottom, transitioning from the blue to the red. I know, especially when I was looking up like movie posters, the use of like red and blue are really strong in a lot of movie posters. So I think they're really spot on with definitely their color choices. I think what might have made this just a little bit stronger is maybe just pushing that concept a little bit more, maybe adding a little bit more characters, or maybe just showing a little bit more of the character. Like I think it's a lot of characters, just the head, when I feel like I could get just a little bit more of the shoulders, and it would have given just that little push it could have really made it really exceptional. But overall, I do really like this piece.
Yeah, let me say, I agree with all the comments that were made. This is a piece that really, I was really excited with this piece. I think the color by far is the best part of this piece. It just is, it's color work is really hard. It's a hard skill to develop because it requires an innate sense of design, just understanding balance and what works and what doesn't work, and where color can really make something pop, or what type of shade of color can make something pop. Lighting as well, also factors into that. And I think Katsugiri Art did all those things really well in this piece. Agree on the fact there's a lot of headshots. It would have been nice to have seen more full body work. As a result of that, it makes it kind of hard to judge the character design, because there's a character in the backdrop there that is I believe an original character, but it's hard to make out anything unique about the character. He's obviously wearing a hat. He's also very mysterious due to the shading and so forth of the piece. One of the things about movie posters is that successful movie posters will not only give you a stark visual, but it'll also give you a story, right? Just visually, it will tell a story. It'll tell you a little bit about what to expect in the film. It'll present things and just enough information visually to give you a sense of like, oh, okay. So if for example, you think about the poster for Naruto Clash in the Ninja Land of Snow or something like that. We see Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi. We also see the snow ninjas in the backdrop, including the main bad guy. We see the princess character who's kind of looking back. So we see a lot of new characters. And then we also see them in snow garb. So instantly, we are made aware that, okay, this is a brand new adventure with brand new characters set in some snowy land. Even if you only saw the Japanese poster, therefore maybe you didn't understand what you were reading, you would still take away all those elements: new characters, new land, snow, a female character who appears to be like an important character in this because of her prominence. So I think that, all those elements, matter in poster construction. And here, some of that's there, but again, I agree with the listeners that it would have been nice to have seen a bit more diversity of the imagery in terms of the body types and so forth to get a greater sense of what you're looking at. So with that being said, let's give some ranks to this. So we'll just go from the bottom then. Andrea, what would you rank this out of 4?
For me, it's a 3rd.
It's 3rd, okay. JR, and by the way, guys, take notes on this. Keep track of what you voted, because we always have to do this every week. So make sure you write down what you voted so we can easily access that. JR, what's your rank on this?
No, I'm actually the same with Andrea. This is really hard, by the way. It's so hard. It's really good, but I rank this one 3.
Okay, Oden.
I'm gonna go 4. This is really hard, and I love the art and the colors and stuff, but I'm gonna go 4.
All right, Blake Showers.
It's hard. I'm gonna say 4. I'm sorry. I like them all. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It is hard. It is hard. I totally agree. Morgan, what are you gonna give this?
I'll give it a 2. Sorry, not sorry.
Okay. Alyssa, what about you?
I actually did also rank this a 2.
Okay. All right. For me, I again concur with everyone's points. Unfortunately, when I look at the totality of the work, I do see this as a number 4. I just think there are other things done, some of the other pieces that really stood out to me more, and so I have to give this a 4. So again, folks, there's more to be told here. It's going to come down to the public vote. So all what you just heard here are all point totals that'll be going to Katsugiri Art, as well for all the other artists. So just to be clear, the point iterations here 50 points for someone who gets the top rank, 40 points for someone who gets a second rank, 30 points for someone who gets a third rank, and 20 points for the person who gets the fourth rank. So everyone's getting points, but that's how we're going to outlay these points here. So next up, let's talk about Sketch Wallet real quickly. Another great sponsor of this year's March Art Madness. This is a wallet that you can put all sorts of stuff in. Obviously, your credit cards, your credit cards, your ID, important, if you've got small documents and so forth you want to put in there. But the key thing is that it comes custom built with a sketchbook. This is a really, really viable sketchbook. Great paper, 60 pages as well of this sketchbook. Comes with an A2 pencil, so you're actually able to go in there and produce some pretty credible artwork. So this is a really, really solid wallet. You can get it in leather or canvas. This is really, really solid wallet. Definitely a cool product. And for artists who want to produce content on the go, this is fantastic. We're honored to be working with them. We think that artists who love to draw and don't have quite the flexibility, maybe you're in like a doctor's office, something like that, or you're in line at the bank, and you're not going to have an iPad with you. So this is kind of the original iPad. It's a personal scenario. You can just whip it out of your pocket, got your pencil right there in a perfect slot. You can start drawing, and you can produce some great artwork or jot down some really cool visual ideas before you move on to your next thing you have to do if you're in line, or if you're waiting for something to occur. So really fantastic. We have a lot of folks who have really used these and love them. So please check out Sketch Wallet, and winners of this year's March Art Madness will be receiving a Sketch Wallet. Next up, we have Team Bully Eater. So Apple Black, of course, fantasy series, all about a young man who has a powerful weapon built into his arm. It's a world of sorcery and magic. All magic users have some device they can use to channel their magic through. His is his arm. He's got a secret to uncover, which is why it's called Apple Black, because a lot of the source of power of that world is in the Apple Black entity. Bully Eater is a little different. It's a more grounded series about just a guy who can fight. He's a great martial artist, young man, and he goes up against super-powered bullies. So very, very fun series, very easy series for people to get into, not as much mythology into it. And as a result of that, we had another American artist, Young Wavy, the artist, who is also very young, like Katagiri Art. And he did a really interesting take on Bully Eater. So this is his poster. It's a really cool looking product. Definitely gets you amped up, just like the Apple Black one. So I'm going to begin this time with Jay Oden. Jay, what did you make of this?
I love this picture. I thought it was really cool. I love the incorporation of the logo. The color is really cool. You could just feel the energy off of it. I do think there are some anatomy issues. Maybe the background could have probably been a little bit more detailed, but overall, this is a great image. And, I would love to see a movie if I saw it. If this was a movie poster that I was passing by at like a movie theater, I would totally buy a ticket for it. I mean, I would just switch up. Like I'm not watching Back to the Future today.
I'm not going to work. I'm going to watch this movie.
Yes. Yeah.
When your boss calls and says, Jay, why aren't you here? You're going to be like, you didn't see this poster, man.
I'm gonna be like, I'm sick. I got the vid. I already have my vaccine, but still.
I'm sure I know someone's gonna listen and be like, what? Yes.
But no, I love this image. It was really cool. I've never seen Asao use his energy ability in any way, shape, or form like the posters suggests. But I do think
he does not have that ability.
Exactly.
Right. So I did not take it as literal, but obviously, it
was a cool interpretation. I like this a lot.
Correct.
This is cool.
Agreed. I totally agree. Morgan, what did you make of this?
Yeah, I really like this too. This one got me a little excited as far as kind of like a story about Zhao and the sort of struggles that he's going through. Because they did a really good job of just showing him, beaten up, like he's really been through a struggle. I'd be excited to see how he got to this point in an action movie format. I agree. I didn't realize he had that ability either. So I think that's part of the allure of like, oh, what kind of special ability is he unlocked in this movie? I think artistically, I really like the lighting and the coloring. Again, the effects that they've done to show that he's been battle worn. The background, it took me a second to realize that those were the enemies in the mirror. I think that's a really great way to show that without really cluttering the image, because sometimes you can just put too many characters on the page. So that's a really subtle way of introducing them. The only problem is, I think Azao, the line work on him is maybe a little too light, so he kind of blends into the background if we're standing away and not looking at it closely enough. So maybe just having a little bit stronger line work on him just to kind of separate him from the background. And then I think of the movie poster, I'm not loving all the details at the bottom. It might be a little bit nitpicky, considering that the art's really to be judged, but it just doesn't seem like it was quite as well thought out as the rest of the piece. And then I'm not really sure who the main villain is. It just seems like the same kind of characters that he might be fighting in the normal comic. So I guess that's the only thing, is like, just Azao himself seems really interesting. Everything else just seems like it would be what you would typically see, and not so much from like, oh, this is a brand new movie, this is a brand new villain, and so on.
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. Blake, what did you make of this? Blake?
Oh, sorry, I was talking and sorry. For this one, I think I really enjoyed just the energy of the piece. I think the colors were really well thought out. Like, they do kind of bleed into the background a little bit, but I think maybe just a white line or two would kind of like make this a little more popping out. There was something I kind of just noticed, like the background, where it's like you can see all the different like bad guys in their eyes. I think that's just a really great like touch to it, because it's kind of like, if you don't really look at it, you're like, oh, okay, he's like just beat up and he's like kind of just recovering. But when you see like the just different kinds of enemies and like how many of them, it kind of really takes you into the piece, and it's like, oh, this is like a real like fight, like he could be like really hurt with this. So I really enjoy this one. I think out of all of them, this was the one that really stood out to me.
So again, I agree with all the comments that were made. So two things detracted a little from my love of this piece, and then I'm gonna talk about a third that I don't covet, and I'm gonna talk about that a little bit, because I think I see this a lot, and I think this is something I want to talk about while we've got young people watching this. The first thing that took me out was what Morgan talked about, the bottom. I just thought that the piece was so well thought out. And this is something that, in this tournament, and this is what I said earlier with Alyssa, the thing about this tournament is that it's about choices you make. Because when you make a choice, just like in life, you have to live by that choice. And that means if you make a choice to do something really clever, something that you think is really clever, then you have to execute on it. Otherwise, you don't get points for trying to do something clever. I mean, you do in the attempt, but you don't get it if it ruins the piece or brings the piece down in terms of its opportunity. If we think of the last piece we just saw, Apple Black, the color work was so phenomenal there that it really made that piece really strong. Again, but then she had the choice to not have illustrate full body characters or really give us more depth of this new character. So there were choices that she made, and the color really enhanced a lot of it. But then some of the artistic choices of not giving us more diversity of imagery kind of decreased it a little bit. One of the things on that one that really stood out to me, but didn't stand as much, again, because I think the color saved it, was the font choice. That font at the bottom of it for Apple Black, at the bottom underneath Apple Black, was the subtitle of the movie, and it just was kind of a horrible font for that page, because everything else was really sharp. This one, the font doesn't work. Pardon me. Sorry about that, folks. The font doesn't work the placement of the font doesn't work. So you've got this great logo, and then you've got this kind of like pushed up to the bottom information that's not particularly compelling, not presented in a compelling manner. So it just kind of seems like I totally get the idea, but the execution of the idea just kind of took me out, because it's just such a, when you see the detail put into the background with the characters' faces, the fact there's a brick wall, that he's up against a brick wall that's got a glass on the top, a window or mirror at the top, but a brick wall at the bottom, which is just such a great, like, there's so many choices he made that were so perfect. It's like, man, I would really just not put anything at the bottom of the thing other than the logo, because it just kills it when I see it. Cause I'm thinking, man, you put that much effort and everything else and kind of phoned it in on this part. So again, that's the first thing that stuck to me. The second thing is the darkness. I agree with Morgan, who talked about that. You've got this great detail behind the sound. The sound just kind of gets sucked into that. So you really have to look at a piece. There's a difference, folks, between a piece that challenges you to look at it and really study it and observe it, like a Where's Waldo type thing, because there's so many unique things in a piece, and versus something that makes you look at it a lot because you literally cannot make out what you're saying because it's just too dark. And so I think this falls into the latter rather than the former. And because of the darkness, you're really stuck looking at it. And so the thing that bothered me about that was the sound does not have this power. So it's okay if you're going to invent things for a movie poster. It's a fan art. It's okay. But I feel as if, looking at this from a critical eye, that one of the reasons the piece is so dark is because he really wanted to amp up the character's hand being so light. And I don't know if that was the case, but that's what it reads as when I look at this visually and I have to ask, why would you make this thing so dark at the top? And on the right of the page, was it just to highlight the light from his right arm? Was it just to kind of give it just that much more pop? Because it does pop when you see it that way. But man, that's not the character's ability. And so to do that, which is okay, but to make that choice and then make the choice to maybe darken the page to where it's not as visible, therefore my ability to really discern what I'm looking at is not as strong, and it's kind of frustrating. It just takes me out of the piece a little bit. The third thing that came up, I don't agree with this, and I want to speak to this real quickly before we move on, was My Hero Academia. So we saw a number of people sending us notes and making comments about how this looked too much like My Hero Academia. Now, in the past and in the future, I appreciate getting those notes. Not because I think that the critique is warranted in all cases, but because we do care that people care about the artwork that's being produced. And because we have discovered artists who have stolen or copied existing images from traditional manga or comic books in March Art Madness, and that's a no-no. So we've seen this has happened last year, as a matter of fact, and someone pointed it out. We had given the person a win. So we had a number of comments showing, not only telling us this person copied the artwork, but then showing us specifically the artwork that this person had copied. And then we had to rescind that person's win. So it's frustrating when that happens. Now that did not happen here, but stylistically, there's a lot of My Hero Academia in there, and that's okay. And I want to talk about this a little bit, because I do think this gets out of hand. We've heard us talk a lot about toxic behavior in people. I do want to talk about this real quickly and just say, folks, every artist, I'm 47 years old, every artist since I've been alive, and obviously far people who were alive long before I was, get their start by looking at popular artists that they love and trying to trace and figure out how they do the stuff they do. This is not new. This has been going on for a long time. It will continue to go on. Therefore, people end up taking on the style of artists that they love. Every artist who makes a career in comic books eventually discovers their own path. That's been the way it's been for a long time, and it will not change. So I want people to be very cognizant of that. Please don't get the perception that every time you see artwork that reminds you of someone else's art, that this person is doing something wrong or should be ashamed, because that sort of shaming of artists who are really trying to discover their voice is unnecessary, It's mean, and it's just disrespectful. There's no need for that. This artist is really fantastic, very talented. They wouldn't have made it to this point if they weren't. And to critique this artist because stylistically they have a real love of My Hero Academia, I think is really harsh and just out of place. So with that being said, let's give our rank on this. We start with Andrea. Andrea, what are you ranking this?
For me, this is second.
Number 2 for Andrea. For J.R. DeVar, what is this?
This was also 2. I love this one.
Okay. J. Oden.
I'm actually gonna make this number 1.
Oh, okay. Blake Showers.
I'm gonna say 2.
Okay. Morgan.
I really do love this piece, but it was my third.
Third piece. All right. Alyssa.
I did have to give a 3 on this. Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. It's okay. For me, this is a number 2. I love this piece. I agree. I think this piece is really strong. Number 2 for me. All right. Okay, folks, we're going to talk about Wacom. I'm actually going to allow Mr. J. Oden to talk about Wacom real quickly while I take a quick momentary break. I take the dog outside. So, Jay, it's all yours for about 60 seconds or about a minute and a half. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, wow. All right, cool. Well, Wacom, everybody knows. If you don't know, then I don't know. I guess you've just been living under a rock. But if you are an artist, then you know that Wacom is obviously one of the best brand tablets, if not the best brand tablet that you can buy. Obviously, you know, they're pretty expensive, but you know, with this tournament, so the winner will receive a Wacom Room 1, and it is going to be a pretty sweet thing. I unfortunately do not have one. I would love one. I actually did have a Wacom for a very long time, and it was amazing, but it was not where you could draw on the screen, and it lasted for a very long time. So if you have just a normal tablet and it's a Wacom, then you at least know that it's going to last for a long time, and it's pretty high quality. But there is a thing called the Wacom 1, and it is absolutely incredible. And everything I've seen and read about it, you know, makes me really want to, you know, switch up. So for the winner of this entire, tournament, I just want to say, you know, I hope you enjoy this because it is an amazing prize.
All right. So, yeah, let me thank you, Jay, for saying that. Folks, we're really honored to have Wacom as a sponsor of this year's March of Madness. They are the gold standard for drawing tablets. So if you're seeking to be an artist and you're seeking to draw content for professional comic book production, Wacom is one of the absolute best tablets out there on the market. Now, there are several tablets that have come out. Sorry, you guys hear my door opening back. I'm having to try to get the dog back in the house. He's having, like I said before, some of the dog's having a bit of a stomach issue, so we're trying to figure out what's going on with that. So I do apologize for that, but we couldn't be more honored to have a partnership with Wacom. Many of our artists use drawing tablets beyond like an iPad. iPads are great, but if you're looking for that just straight fidelity and ability to interact with some of the software that powers the comic book industry, like Dkmbstudio Paint, definitely Wacom. It works on PCs, Macs, and now Android. So a really fantastic company, fantastic product. And I have to say, having built this brand, diverse manga brand with Saturday AM, the fact that we started this 8 years ago, people made fun of us and told me that I, you know, despite me having a long career in the video game industry, that I didn't know what I was doing, that you can't make diverse manga, it's already diverse, and all sorts of just complete nonsense. To be the group out there, now that many groups have come after us trying to do diverse manga, to be in this position that we work with 3 of the top Japanese manga-oriented art supply companies in the world, Dkmbstudio Paint, Wacom, and Sakura, is just an incredible honor. Could not be more excited about that, and could not be more excited at the fact that we have Wacom as a sponsor of this year's March Art Madness. So please check out the product if you haven't had a chance. Grand prize winners will be receiving a Wacom 1 tablet. All right, next up is Team Clock Striker. This is Shonen Manga's first Black female lead character, and it's our series. So we could not be more excited to publish the series. I want to tell you guys about it real quickly. Letting the dog back in the house. All right. I know it's embarrassing, folks, but I love this little dog. Hopefully she's getting better. Okay, so the series is about a young African American female who wishes to become a smith. Smiths are like the Jedi in this world. They are really, really smart. They're engineers by trade, but they also are warriors. She wants to be one, but women typically are not Smiths, and the Smiths have long died out. So she's on a pathway to try to be one, which is called the Striker as an apprentice, and she ends up uh, finding fortune by working with one Philomena Clock, who is one of the few female Smiths out there. So now she is title character Clock Striker. It's one of our most popular series, and this is the poster being done. It's been created by Dkmbstudio out of the Philippines. Very talented young man. He's had some great work throughout the entire tournament. This is his work. So I'm going to start with Andrea Doney. Andrea, what do you make of this piece?
I gotta be honest, this is the piece that grew on me. When I first looked at it, the first thing I noticed was Cast's face, and I was not too happy about that. And then I was looking at the piece, and it blew my mind. The moment I realized that basically the whole composition is like a clock, with the characters' limbs, and it's just a gorgeous piece. Like, it's a very creative composition, shows the characters in very dynamic and unique poses, and even the catchphrase is fitting the theme of Clock Striker. So yeah, I absolutely love this piece.
Totally agree. I'll give my thoughts more in a moment. Let me go to let's see, J.R. DeBar. What'd you make of this, sir?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I really love this piece. As Andrea said, the composition is just fantastic. I think the color work is also real nice. Overall, everything is pretty strong on this one, including the posing and the foreshortening. Everything is just beautiful.
It's beautiful. All right. Alyssa, what did you make of this?
I really, really love this piece. One of the first things I also was like looking at the composition, and I was like, wow, you could keep looking and you'll keep noticing different things. And like, I could really tell that they thought out like how they were going to approach this composition and what angle, and like just having that circular movement. Just, it really feels like they thought through this piece. And even the way they formatted the text at the bottom, I think I have to say this is like my favorite.
So let me say, I could not agree more on what everyone is saying, especially Andrea. I initially didn't like this initially. I agree. Like I was like, oh, okay, cool. We got the characters in there, and obviously I created this character. By the way, being illustrated now, in our anthology magazine, we have a great artist who's helped me reboot it from France, named Asaka Galadima, a wonderful artist. But I just didn't connect with it. Plus, there were some skin tone issues. It was like one of the characters who's black. I was like, what's the skin tone? And then Cass also skin tone's a little off. Her hair is brown. There were things that just didn't quite fit with me. It still bothered me a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, but the ingenuity of the piece, the fact that so much of it was thought out from start to finish, and as I just talked about a few minutes ago, even the font and verbiage at the bottom of the poster was there. Obviously, he's got a little clever thing in there about Netflix and so forth. But the fact that he even took the time to present it in a decent, accurate, design-oriented way. The Netflix logo is, he obviously pulled it from the internet, I guess, or recreated it. And the reason I say that is because he recreated the Clock Striker logo. So that is the Clock Striker logo minus the fact that we do not have the word striker appearing on the word clock. So he actually constructed that because he must not have found the PNG exactly. So again, I have to give real credit to everything he tried to do here. There are a lot of things that didn't grab me with it, again, with the skin tone and so forth, but there's so much about it that I truly like. And like I said, I'm a really big fan of this. I love this quite a bit. So let's go with the votes here. So let's start the list. Andrea, where does this rank for you?
first, definitely.
Let's see, JR, where's this rank for you?
This too was my number one. Yeah.
JM, where's this rank for you?
This is my number 2.
Blake, where's this rank for you?
I think it's number 1.
Morgan, where's this rank for you?
This is also my number 1.
All right, and for me, this was a tough one. I have to say, this was a tough one because I genuinely like the next one we're about to look at, but I did rank this number 1. But I did like the one we're going to look at next. I was quite fond of that one as well. All right, so I'm sorry, Alyssa, where did you rank this? I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah. Number 1 as well.
Number 1. Okay. All right. So all right, folks. Yeah. So this is looking like a tough one to beat here. Let's talk about character. One of our sponsors here that we're really proud to work with is Just Sketch Me. So now we've got a number of great artists here right now. I'm going to ask real quickly. So Andrea, when you're creating character art, do you use the little tool features and some of the software to help you, get the proper pose and so forth, or do you just do it off the top of your head?
Oh, I use references and this software pretty often, especially when it comes to like drawing dynamic poses. I think it's a great tool to have to help you put the characters in perspective, use the foreshortening, especially when you kind of know what you want to draw, but you're not exactly sure about the angle. It's a very convenient tool that you can just turn it around and basically access any pose from any angle.
Yeah. There's so many tools out there, folks. You can get you obviously can reference stuff we talked about earlier. You can look at artists that you really like and copy and kind of learn, or look at, try to interpret things you've seen them draw. You can get the dolls or the pose figures, the 3D pose figures that you actually buy and pose yourself. They usually come with a little stand where you can have them. You can, recreate things like them jumping or tumbling and running and so on and so forth. Those are, you can get really nice ones for about $30, unless they're on sale. Otherwise, they tend to run pretty high. But this software here is a 3D software. You can run it right in your browser. You can even do it on your mobile device. They are coming out with an app. It's really inexpensive, which is what we like about it. And from what we've heard from one of our artists, it's got one of the better hand post softwares as well. So the fact that you can actually get in and do a variety of things with fingers and the palm and things like that seems simple, but with the Clip Studio Paint feature, which is one of the softwares, of course, that most people use, they have a 3D model feature inside of it. Evidently, they don't have quite the robust element there with hands and so forth. So this app, this software does offer that. You can try it for free. So don't take our word for it. Go check it out for free as soon as you finish watching this video, because it's a really great software. A number of our artists have used it, and we can't recommend it highly enough. So Just Sketch Me. They can help you build character using their 3D software character pose tool. So check it out for free at www.justsketch.me. All right, folks, our final team we're reviewing is Hammer. This is from an artist from Ireland named Sir Dune. Jay, give us a quick, since you're here, what's the plot for Hammer?
Hammer is about a kid that gets sucked into his father's journal, and now he has to find a way out by, basically going on adventures. And he's trying to survive while fighting all the dangers around him, turning any part of his body into a hammer.
All right. So Sir Dune, again, is from Ireland. I think one of our first finalists from Ireland. Very talented young man. So he went a very different direction on this poster. Here it is. I can tell you guys that Stud has never looked as brawny. I'm pretty sure that, I actually asked him about this. I interviewed all these guys on our Instagram channel, which you guys can go check out at Saturday_AM. If you go to Instagram. Jay, I want to get your thoughts before we proceed to get everyone else's opinions on this. Obviously, this is your series. I gotta ask you, Jay. Did you not think of Gone from Hunter x Hunter the minute you saw this? That's what I thought.
That was not the first thought that came to my mind. However, after
Mm.
watching your the interview with Sir Dean, it made a lot of sense when you said that. I was like, okay, I saw that.
But
for
he
sure.
didn't seem to think that. He didn't have that mentality. So I was like,
I don't
damn.
think he saw Hunter x Hunter, or either that, or like maybe he just didn't understand exactly what the question was. But I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
but I agree. I mean, had he seen Hunter x Hunter, I mean, this was the obvious conclusion.
Because when you see that scene, it's just such a strange thing.
Yeah.
And then you're like, so maybe that's what he's saying here, is that like stud, like, because like I said, anyway, if you all get a chance, watch the video I did with this. But Jay, you might be right, Jay. But then there was a part he said to it where I think he understood what I was saying. It was like, why? He's like, no, the way I took it, Jay, was he was like, yeah, I see the character. He's like this little dude, and I thought, well, he should be a little dude or something like that. He kind of was like, yeah, I didn't want him to be a little dude, and I was like, okay,
yeah. He referenced Tool and how jacked up his father Tool is, and
that's right.
So that was actually one of the first thoughts that came to my mind. But I'll talk about that when it's my turn. So,
well, no, it's your turn. Go ahead.
Oh, you want to go? Okay, all right, cool. So, first and foremost, I just want to say this is not this isn't Hammer. Like I appreciate the fact that like he did this, and this is actually probably one of the most aesthetically like most beautiful pictures in the entire tournament.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah.
Like I mean,
yeah.
like hands down, he is obviously one of like a very, very talented person. But with that said, I mean, other than Stud's haircut, there's nothing else in this entire thing that like kind of suggests to me anyway that this is Hammer. Like he's not using his hammer power.
Right.
I would have loved to have seen him render a hammer or his face. Or
I'm okay without the face, but the hammer. I'm okay without the face, but I will definitely agree with you that not having the hammer hand, I was like, dude, because like he nailed the hair. Yeah, not having the hammer. I'm like, bro, why just do the hammer hand? Like, well, you could have done that, and that would have been like just to your point, we would have known. Okay, this is Hammer, like fully.
Because I mean, it's even also like, first of all, I just want to like say, like, I mean, this is obviously amazing. Like you can see, like the line art is really, really cool. I love the veins. I love the energy that's coming off of it. I mean, a lot of this is incredible. Like I don't want to like crap on him when I say this, but I mean, I wish it was like actually my property. I wish he was actually drawing something that was Hammer because it would have been awesome to see. Like this is really cool. However, I mean, if this was a movie poster and I had no idea what this was, because I mean it says Hammer, but he doesn't have one, so like, I don't know. I would watch this movie still. I would be interested in seeing how he got that scar, or what this movie is about. So I mean, I think aesthetically this is beautiful, but this isn't Hammer. So
I hate to agree with you, but I do agree. Not having the hammer hand is what killed it for me. Let's see, Morgan, what do you make of this?
I mean, I 100% agree with a lot of the comments that have already been made so far. This actually, in a way, like if you've taken away the logo, given him the hammer ability, taken away all the stuff at the bottom except the date, this almost feels like a poster you would see before the final poster that gets you hyped.
Yeah, like a tease.
From when the movie's actually going to come out. Because there's something that's really enigmatic. Again, you're not seeing his face. Just the detail that's in his body just looks really powerful. There's definitely a lot that's here that really gets me interested in it. But to Jay's point and your point as well, that without the hammer ability, not seeing his face, obviously the body type is very different. Really, the hair is.
He's 14.
Itself, which again, I appreciate them including the logo. I know a lot of movie posters do that, but this could have been an example where less is more. Yeah. And again, the choices that they made with the font, I'm not really sure where that font came from. It just looks like your standard Times New Roman. So this is one where if they had just included the abilities and then had really scaled it back, that could have been a very powerful poster that we didn't see in the other three entries, and that would have made it stand out even more. Because like Andrea said, this is one that's grown on me the more I look at it, but it's still not quite there.
Totally agree. We'll get Blake's thoughts real quickly, and then we'll finish up. Blake. Unmute your mic, Blake.
Oop, gotcha. Yeah, like hearing everything that Jay said about Hammer, like I was kind of feeling that way because like I was like, this feels like it's a nice piece. I like how it looks, and I like that it's not full color. It's more just these muted, like, and the red makes everything pop out. But it seems like more of a, I guess, like a Netflix original, like, oh, let's put our spin on it type thing. So I kind of took it as that. But I don't know. I enjoy the artwork, but like, yeah, like hearing what Jay said, I think that kind of influences like what I kind of see about it now a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to, we're running out of time as it is, so I don't want to belabor the point. I love this piece, and it disappoints me that I can't rank this higher as a result of that, because this piece does one thing I talked about in all the other pieces. Clock's Record probably comes the close, which is why I ranked it so high, in the sense that it provides mystery. Like, I'm genuinely curious, like what happened to Stud. I'm genuinely curious, like, the scar he's got on his back. Like, there's so much detail, subtle detail. But I agree with Morgan. Like, this is a scenario where less would have been more. Being a tease poster versus a full poster makes no difference. It's a poster still, so it's fine. But the less is more would have been perfect here. We didn't need a logo. Definitely should have had the hammer hands. I just can't figure out why he didn't put the hammer hands in there. It almost is kind of like the Bully Eater piece, which is why I didn't give the Bully Eater the top spot from Young Wavy, where it was like, well, we're gonna give these characters powers or just complete different looks than what actually is in the comic, or actually respecting the creator's original vision. It's going to be different the minute you put your art style on it, but when you choose to make choices that are systemically not a part of the franchise, again, if you make that choice, it might visually be really stunning, but it's going to cost you most likely. And it just came down to the choice. Again, had he actually used the hammer hands here, then the curiosity of what happened to Stud, if this is like a story taking place in the future. Remember, there was that Naruto movie where it flipped and it was Naruto like in another world. It was like he was getting to see the world from a different perspective. Like, had it been something like that, it would have been interesting. But because we didn't hit that, we didn't get the complete connection to the source material. It just for that reason, I just couldn't give it as high of a mark as I would have liked, even though I really love this piece. Voting time, ranking time. Andrea, what do you rank this?
This is number 4 for me.
Number 4 for Andrea. JR.
Yeah, me and Andrea have been pretty much the same throughout. This was my number 4 too, which is so hard because I love this one so much too.
Jay Oden?
Yeah, I mean, I gave it a 3, just because of everything I said. So, but it is amazing. I totally agree.
Blake?
I'm going to go with Jay, 3 as well.
Morgan?
This is my 4 as well.
Alyssa?
It's a beautiful piece, but I did have to put it at number 4.
Okay. For me, it was a number 3. I really, really like this piece. I wish some other choices had been made with it, but I really, really like this piece. All right, folks. So that is the voting. That's our ranking of the material and so forth. Now, we do have rank for white manga, and I'm not going to give point totals to that, but I will offer those to you now, just so that you all know. But I won't offer point totals to that, just because we got so much stuff going on. But White did rank it with Apple Black being number 1. The Bully Eater piece, so Apple Black by Katsugiri, art, number 1. Bully Eater by Young Wavy, the artist, was number 2 for him. Hammer was number 3 for him, and Clock Striker was number 4 for him. So that was White's, but not being here and being able to give context to his answers, we're going to not count those votes. So it won't count for anybody. So no one will benefit from it, no one will lose from it. But I did want to at least let you guys know that White did check the pieces out, and I do appreciate him looking at the pieces and giving his thoughts. All right, folks. Last but not least, we talk about Clip Studio Paint. Great sponsor. We are super excited to be working with Clip Studio Paint now in our second year. These guys rock. They truly care about continuing to help people create amazing comics, like Alyssa's going to be doing in the future, like many of our creators do. You can use Clip Studio Paint, folks, on literally every platform out there: Android, iOS, PC, Mac, Android PC systems. You can literally use Clip Studio Paint on so many different platforms. It is I won't say it's the gold standard, but it's just such a standard at this point in terms of everybody using it, that it's just really hard to argue against using Clip Studio Paint. If Adobe Photoshop is your Illustrator, is your thing, that's great. Or Photoshop, is your thing, that's great. Clip Studio Paint just has everything you could possibly want. If you use Procreate because you primarily use your iPad, that's great. Clip Studio Paint, particularly the EX version, does give you the ability to export your files in a more seamless manner. Not to mention, you have so many tools for things like animation and comic art, lettering, so much capacity. So Celsius is the parent company. Clip Studio Paint, of course, is the software. Winners this year will be getting a free trial for Clip Studio Paint. And so we're really excited about that. And we hope you guys, if you're serious about art, serious about creating comics, we hope you will check out Clip Studio Paint. Some announcements coming, folks. Summer of Manga is coming. In fact, this Friday, you will be able to go to our website and you will be able to access our Summer of Manga registration page. Now, what is Summer of Manga? Summer of Manga is the next big event that we do. We do 2 events a year: Summer of Manga and March Art Madness. March Art Madness, of course, is all about fan art and artists creating great fan art for prizes. Summer of Manga is different. It is all about creating short stories, showing us that you can actually tell a story from start to finish. We publish it inside of Saturday AM, which is our biggest manga magazine and brand. And many of the creators go on to create content for us. In fact, a number of the creators last year are producing content for us, either as part of something we're going to talk about in a moment, or as part of publications like Saturday Brunch, where the creator Gunhild, Fred Torninger from Denmark, her series Gunhild is now being featured, as well as Stan Russell from the Bahamas, who has a series called Zephyr, which is also running inside of Saturday Brunch. So it's an excellent vehicle for artists who are serious about creating comics. You just like March Art Madness, you get a lot of our folks have a chance to take our experience and provide you direct access to critique, to suggestions, to some tutorials where we can, and guidance. And of course, we then turn around and publish your work and help you get a massive following or the very least visibility to your work. So Summer of Manga, if you've got a comic book idea, an original idea, and you want to pitch it to us, just like you would pitch to a professional comic book company, then this is it. You'll have a chance to enter in your ideas beginning this Friday. We will have the web address listed inside of our app and via social media. Likewise, folks, shop Saturday AM. This is our brand new store. We hope to have the store up and running by March Art Madness. We've had a couple of difficulties in putting it together, but I will say that the grand prize winner this year for March Art Madness will receive an exclusive item from our upcoming store. So Shop Saturday AM is our store featuring our original content pieces from all of our amazing creators. We'll be doing drops on a regular basis with exclusive content that you can't find anywhere else. And there's some really great things you're going to find here. Not just shirts. You'll find face masks, you'll find prints, and you'll find wall graphics, giant stickers you can put on your wall of our characters. So definitely look for this soon. It will be literally the web address shopsaturday.com. Last but not least, we'll tell you guys about Pilot Manga, which is a brand new app that we have coming. So again, we currently have our app out now, which is Saturday AM Global Comics. You can get it on iOS and Android. It features over 150 issues and growing of our little Saturday empire, Saturday AM, Saturday PM, Saturday Brunch. If you want to follow specific series like Clock Striker, Apple Black, Hammer, Saigami, Underground, Four Strikes, and so on, then you can find those in the app as well in our retro comic section. But the new app we have, Pilot Manga, is all about you. It's about creating the environment that we believe is mandatory and necessary for creators to succeed. So that doesn't mean challenge goes away. There's still challenge in it, but it means that we don't have sort of toxic behavior that we see happening a lot online, where a lot of young creators think it's funny and think it's cute to do meme culture and to abuse and harass artists or groups. We don't stand for that. How can we stand for that? We created a brand that's all about celebrating diversity. How can we stand for attacking and trying to gang up on individuals? So we're creating a new app for the sort of audience who respects what we're trying to do. It's called Pilot Manga. It's meant for up and coming new creators. You'll find brand new manga there that will not be in our other app. Think of it as Saturday AM Originals. It will be called Saturday Afternoon. We have some great titles there, like Benedict Nick, The Phenomenal Brick, which you see featured here, October Legion, Change the World, and more. There'll be a collection of our most popular work there as well. So for those of you who can't have too many apps in your system, you'll be able to at least to check out. There was one app you'll be able to follow at least some of the earliest stories of some of our popular characters. There'll be tutorials and contests with prizes. So this will be a much more interactive app than Saturday AM, which is more of a straightforward app presenting our content. And even more, we got some more surprises coming soon for the app. So you'll be able to download the app on your various platforms. So definitely make sure to check out Pilot Manga by Saturday AM, our brand new app, which will be coming very soon. I would love to tell you guys an exact date, but we have to submit the apps for approval and things like that. So do look for it soon. It's already been built. Lots of great things in it. So you guys will definitely love it when it comes out. All right, folks, well, that brings us to the end. So who is going to win? Katsugiri Art, who did the Team Apple Black poster piece from America. Young Wavy, the artist, who's the Team Bully Eater piece from America. Philippines, Dkmbstudio, who did the Clock Striker piece. Or Ireland's Sir Dune, who did the Hammer piece. You guys have already cast your votes. So we will be tabulating all of our votes. They'll be partnered with any deductions for people who got their work in late. There were no bonuses this round. We will, however, be adding in all the public votes and the votes I mentioned tonight, which is 50 points for first place, 40 points for second place, 30 points for third place, and 20 points for fourth place. So we'll see how this whole thing shakes out. We look forward to presenting you the information, which you can find on our website tomorrow afternoon. As we finish up here, are there any final comments from our amazing judges? I want to thank so much for taking time out of their schedules tonight to be a part of this. Let's begin first and foremost with Andrea Doney. Andrea, any final comments, any words you want to leave our fans?
I just want to say thanks to everyone who entered and all the people who followed this year's March Art Madness and kept voting. And it was actually amazing to see that this year we had many entrants who were like very young. Like I don't know all of the data, but if I just look at the finalists, I'm pretty sure that most of them are under 20 years old, and that just blows my mind. And some of these kids just grew up with Saturday AM, and that's amazing, and that's super fun to see.
I agree. That's really well said, Andrea. Morgan, what about you?
No, I think that this was yet another successful year of March Art Madness. Unfortunately, I didn't get to participate as much in the judging this year as I did last year, but maybe that's a good thing. Gave other people the chance to voice their opinions. So really happy to be here for the final. Really, all four of them were fantastic pieces. Just always excited by the talent that we get. And I think that there was a lot of new talent this year, so that's always encouraging. So just really happy to have been part of it again.
Agreed, totally agree. Blake Showers. Blake, what do you want to leave our fans with?
I would say that everybody that entered, everybody that submitted, like, this is the stuff like you need to do to push yourself as an artist. Like, maybe you didn't get in at all this year, or maybe you didn't place, or maybe like you didn't get as far as you wanted to, but that's going to help you the next time and the next time and the next time, and it's going to make you grow as an artist. So I would say, everybody, you did great. I love looking at the art. It was really exciting this year, and yeah, keep up the good work.
Awesome. JR the Bard.
Yeah, no, this year was awesome. It's actually the most most I've gotten to judge. But yeah, to everyone who competed, everyone was fantastic. The finalists, this was really hard to judge. Just letting you know if you're watching this, all your work is amazing. And you've all inspired me to work harder myself. And I hope to see more of your stuff. And to everyone who has been watching with us, I hope you check out all the artists who competed this year, because it was really great. It was really fantastic.
That's a great point. Jay Oden.
Yeah, I just want to agree with everybody what they said. I also want to shamelessly plug myself and say, go check out Hammer. So, you can go buy my book, Lemonade Code. But yeah, for everybody that participated, you guys did great. I really just love looking at all the artwork. The finalists, it was a very difficult decision. But whoever wins, you totally deserve it. Congratulations. You stuck in there, and I can't wait to see what you have next. Pitch us something. Summer of Manga is right around the corner.
Yeah, true. And last but not least, the wonderful artist Alleyway, aka Alyssa Holmes. Alyssa, what did you what final words you want to leave our fans?
Well, I just want to thank everybody. But this is obviously everyone who's entered this contest, and even the 4 finalists, everyone is so talented, and it is so hard to judge. It basically just came down to the choices they made. But honestly, everyone is so talented, and again, everyone said, is keep going for it, even if you didn't get as far as you thought you might. Keep going, because that's part of the challenge. And I hope everyone had fun, because it seems like this is such great artwork, especially trying to choose between these 4. Everyone did such a great job.
I couldn't agree more. And I just want, on a personal note, thank just Alyssa and everyone that's on the call tonight. As I said before, for you guys who will hear this, I've been a little under the weather. I have a dog, which you guys have probably seen occasionally on my social media, who's been suffering. Hopefully she's not in any dire pain, but she has some stomach issues. She's getting older though, so you never know. But I will say that it is such a pleasure to do what we do at Saturday AM. It's not easy. You guys have heard me talk about this before. Saturday AM is not easy at all. I mean, we have gone through the wire for Saturday AM. We've made sacrifices. We've paid the price on a number of occasions for trying to do big things. We've dealt with frustration and depression and so many various emotions that go into creating Saturday AM. But having fans, as Andrea said, people who've grown up with us over these past 8 years, as we head into our 10th year anniversary, we've got so many big announcements coming. You guys have been dying for us to do. They're finally going to happen. As we continue to discover new great creators, either through March Art Madness and like Alyssa, or folks who participate with us in other areas and now are part of our group, to have just great, positive people who truly champion and support one another. Someone my age, I'm incredibly inspired by it and humbled by it, and just appreciative. So this is a great event. I really didn't know anything else like it when I started 6 years ago. I wanted to give young people a chance to compete, because I think life is about challenges, it's about competition and finding your way through that competition. But I could not be more proud of the amazing artists throughout the entire tournament. Literally, any of these 4 artists can win tonight's tournament or this year's tournament, and we will find out tomorrow, of course, or later today. But there's no question that, again, is a wonderful feeling to see people coming together and competing and being positive and being talented and just showing the world the talent. This is what we started this whole company for. So it's awesome to be in this position to see this and be a part of this. So thank you all for supporting Saturday AM. Please make sure you go check out our app and our website and all the various things we're doing at www.saturday-am.com. In the show notes, we'll find additional information there for all of these amazing artists, where you can find them on social media. And one last thing I want to do before we hop off, everyone give a round of a big applause to Jackie Rindy, who works with us and helped run this thing. Jackie is one of the loveliest people you guys have a chance to meet. I'm really hoping, there's so many dreams I have for Saturday AM. We've been 8 years into this, but one of the dreams I have, of course, is that as things change, we get the things open back up again, and we start having greater opportunity to meet fans and greater opportunity to advance our brand and so forth. And you guys have a chance to meet Jackie Rindy in person or have more video opportunities to see Jackie, because she really is one of the brightest kind of lights within the Saturday AM. She's really positive. She's really fun. And she works really hard to put stuff like this together. So thank you, Jackie. All right, I think that's it. Take care, everybody. We will see you guys soon. We got more videos coming soon from other things we'll be doing. So stay tuned. Thanks, everybody. Take care.